What's going on, guys? Ness here. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the True Blue Mini Ultradrive. Some of you might recall I did a couple of reviews on some True Blue Mini products before in the past. Essentially what the True Blue Minis have been are mod sticks for your PlayStation Classic. Well, now we have one for the Sega Genesis Mini. This thing claims to add over 800 games from all different regions to your currently existing library on your Sega Genesis Mini. But does it in fact do that, and how well do these games actually play? We're gonna find that out. First, let's see what comes inside the box. You have the True Blue Mini Genesis Ultradrive itself. You have a 4-point USB hub, very similar to previous True Blue Minis. It includes a micro USB cable. I'll touch more on that a little bit later on. And a set of instructions. Now, unlike the True Blue Mini products for the PlayStation Classic, this one is not entirely plug and play. It requires a bit of prep work. It requires you to install a certain hack onto your Sega Genesis Mini using this program called True Blue Flasher. And in order to get your Sega Genesis Classic to be recognized by your PC, you have to use this micro USB cable that comes packaged with the True Blue Mini. Once your Sega Genesis Mini is recognized by your PC, it's as simple as installing the driver to the computer and installing the hack onto your Sega Genesis Mini. This thing is not permanent. You can always come back and uninstall the hack at any point in time. Once the hack is installed, you plug the True Blue Mini into controller port 1 onto your Sega Genesis Classic, and then plug the controller onto controller port 2. Or if you want to use multiplayer, use the USB hub. And similar to the PlayStation Classic, you always plug in the power adapter last during this process. Once that's all done, it will boot up to the Sega Genesis Mini menu. Everything pretty much looks the same. It still has the same menu music, as well as the unique selection of box art, and even a brief bio on every single title. Here I am playing Separation Anxiety, a Spider-Man title for the Sega Genesis, and it seems to be running fine. Now, while navigating the menus at any point in time, you hit the C button on the Genesis gamepad, and it'll bring up this sub-menu. Not only does it divide the games alphabetically, but you can actually return to the default selection of games that were available on the Genesis Mini from the start. You just click the Genesis Mini from your region, and there you go. Now it's back to its original default title list. Then you hit the C button again, and you have full access to the 800 plus titles that are on the True Blue Mini. Here I am playing Boogerman, a neat little side-scrolling action platformer. Here I am playing Chakan the Forever Man, one of the most slept-on games from the 16-bit era. This game's art style and game mechanics were really innovative and pretty revolutionary for its time period. If you've never played this one, you should probably check it out. Now, I was pretty bummed out to find that not every game works 100%. Here I am playing Truxton, and as you guys can see, the audio for some reason is not present in this game. Which kind of sucks because this is one of my all-time favorite Sega Genesis titles. Maybe they'll release some type of update or download or patch or something in the future, who knows. Here I am playing Tough Man Contest, a Super Punch-Out style game that came out for the Sega Genesis. It's nowhere near as good as Super Punch-Out, but it tries, so I guess it gets points for that. I was really disappointed to find that Ninja Turtles The Hyperstone Heist suffers the same flaw that Truxton has, in it that the audio is not present. This really bummed me out because once again, this is one of my all-time favorite Sega Genesis titles. Here I am playing Splatterhouse 2, another really fun Sega Genesis title, and it's running great off the True Blue Mini. The Genesis Ultradrive is filled with a bunch of different titles, including a couple of ROM hacks. Obviously, Donkey Kong Country never came out for the Sega Genesis, but this little ROM hack is a neat addition to an already robust library. Here I am playing Ranger X, a unique side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that doesn't abide by the same rules as like a Metal Slug or a Contra. It has some unique features and game mechanics that really make this a gem for the Sega Genesis. Definitely check this one out. So the Genesis Ultradrive by True Blue Mini. Guys, I have to say, it's really cool to have 800 plus titles on your Sega Genesis Mini. It really brings this console to life, but honestly, I like the console the way it was right from the start anyway. I feel like the titles that were selected for the Sega Genesis Mini were really good titles. I don't like that this thing's not plug and play, because what made the True Blue Mini so appealing for the PlayStation Classic was that you simply just pop it in and the games are right there at your disposal. Having to connect your Genesis Mini to your PC and install a series of hacks just seems a bit daunting for a retail product. Not to mention that not all titles are working 100%. The fact that two of my all-time favorite Sega Genesis titles didn't have audio really kind of takes away from what this product was meant to be. I feel like the Genesis Ultradrive is just okay. It's a good product that adds more playability to an already great mini console. But do I feel like it's a must-have? Honestly, I don't. It's perfect for those of you that want to add pretty much the entire Genesis library to your Sega Genesis Mini, but it's definitely not without its flaws. If you guys are interested in the Genesis Ultradrive by True Blue Mini, I'll put links in the description below. Until next time, this is Ness, signing out.